Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kaylin and today I wanted to do another video of 10 things to do instead of spending money. I've just taken my dog for a walk and it was like a kind of cold, like not frosty but just really cold, kind of windy day. So now I'm cozy in the house with my latte and I had some cake, and yeah, I just wanted to chat to you. So number one for my ideas of things to do instead of spending money is to do some paper crafts, because there are certain crafts that we can kind of like make excuses not to do because the supplies are too expensive, but most people already have paper on hand. You can recycle paper that you have in your house, like that has been for other things that you otherwise would have just put in the recycling bin. I've tried paper quilling before and it's quite soothing because you just sit and roll paper really tightly so that it makes these little like spirals and you can make pictures out of them. And then also origami. There's so many like tutorials online that show you how to make simple things origami wise, and there's no limit to what you can make. You just need square pieces of paper. So if you have like a normal piece of paper, you can just fold it so it meets the edge and then cut off this part to make a square, and then just repeat that, or use the first one as a template to cut out other squares, and then you don't have to buy specific origami paper. And I also saw a tutorial on the Simple Things magazine has a website where like it's just free for everyone to read, and they put up lots of really inspiring blog posts, and one was to make star decorations. So I might try that one. It was just a paper craft, so it looked like it should be simple enough to make with things that you already have in the house, because well, it looked like it was literally just paper. And a viewer was saying I like the idea as well of making my own decorations, and I think the ones that we make like are quite often the ones we kind of cherish the most. Number two is to make some pudding. This like is something that really appeals to me but that I have never really done. I've never made my own Christmas pudding, and I always kind of want to do it after I've been to, there's like a folk museum here, and it's like all these little old houses that were kind of moved in to make a village, and it's like supposed to be like a Georgian Christmas, for example, when you visit at Christmas time, and it's like all of the staff are in costume and kind of role playing. They have these enormous mixing bowls and it always makes me want to bake, and I kind of wish that I had one like that. It's just like it's a really sturdy bowl and it holds a huge amount, and it makes me want to make Christmas pudding. Or you can make any pudding, even if Christmas pudding isn't your thing. You can make like a chocolate pudding or like a sticky toffee pudding, or like whatever you like. There's so many recipes online, so you can just look those up, and it's like a slow kind of practice just stirring it, and I think that it could just help to slow everything down around Christmas time as well, when everything gets so rushed. Number three is to use the demotivator on the Money Saving Expert website. I recently found this and it's a really useful tool and helps you to kind of take control of your finances. So you just input, like for example, say you buy takeaway coffees and you buy them like a certain number of times a week. If you put that into their calculator, it'll quickly tell you how much it amounts to in like a month or a year or whatever. And you can do that with anything. Like you can run through your bank statements and pick out what are your kind of weaknesses with shopping and see the full picture of how it's actually affecting your finances beyond just a single purchase. Number four is to make your own hot chocolate station. I saw somewhere selling, it must have been when I called in to get food or something, or I must have called in to get an ingredient. Yeah, it was when I was doing baking on Friday. I called into the shop and I saw that they were selling like hot chocolate station packs for about £5, but you can make your own and you can put whatever you want in it and lay it out on the counter and do it as like an activity with a friend or family member or something, and everybody just like selects their own favorite hot chocolate toppings. Like you can do cream, we've done mini gingerbread men before, you can do sprinkles, you can put like marshmallows obviously, or toasted marshmallows. You can add any little chocolates that you like to the top. Like you can just be as elaborate with it as you want and it feels like a real treat. because you kind of be more extravagant with it because it's like a special occasion. Number 5 is to make your own pub quiz, and this could be to do with family or friends. Like, you just come up with your own trivia that is specific to what you are all interested in, instead of it being kind of broader and being less personal. So it's just a fun way to spend a day sitting coming up with questions and researching and finding out like what would be some fun questions to include or what would make everyone laugh, and just like coming up with your own version of it. It doesn't have to cost any money. All you have to do is write things down and like maybe do some research online or in books and things that you have sitting around the house, and just put in some facts that everybody would be interested in that you know. You can come up with some prizes too if you want from around your house, like just make up, like for example, like just even grab a cup that you're not really using, put some like chocolates or something you've baked in a little bag inside it and wrap it with a ribbon. Like, you can just do something really simple like that to use as a prize, just to make it feel a little bit more like a real pub quiz. Number 6 is one that my mom has like introduced me to. It's reading Substack, and this is a place where lots of artists and creators go to write posts that you can then read. You can subscribe and pay to have more content, or you can just be like, you can just use it for free, which I do. And mine kind of started with reading Patti Smith and her daughter's posts, but there's so many topics on it, and you can get the app as well so that you can read on that. And I just think it's nice getting uplifting emails rather than being bombarded with the constant marketing type emails that I seem to get so many of. Like, my Substack emails are inspiring rather than draining. Number 7 is to find some easy DIY projects on Pinterest, and I actually haven't used Pinterest in a while. I used to use it kind of on and off. I feel like I'm always offloading apps from my phone because I never have enough memory. I think I have too many photos. That's something I need to deal with. But on Pinterest, you can find so many projects that you don't need to have like exceptional DIY skills to actually like manage to do. Because I find that anytime I've looked at those like home magazines where people are doing their own home decorating, I just get overwhelmed at the thought of it, because I just don't, my brain doesn't work that way, and I don't know how people can do things like create furniture just by throwing a few pieces of wood together, or like I don't know how to do anything beyond painting a wall. Would really kind of overwhelm me. Like, I wouldn't know how to do things like tearing out kitchen cupboards and replacing them with ones that you've made yourself. Like, I think that is a skill that a lot of people think is easy, but it's actually quite hard if you're not wired that way. But on Pinterest, there are so many accessible DIY projects that anybody could do, and just using things that you already have around the house, and that kind of like making decor that is really unique and like specific to your tastes. Here he comes to play again now. You can probably hear him sniffing. I know you don't like it when I make videos, you just want all the attention, don't you? Number 8 is to make your own pasta. This is something I've actually never done before, I don't think, and you don't need a pasta maker to do this. You can just look up an easy recipe online and like make the dough, and yes, I can hear you squeaking, and then you can roll it out really thin and cut it into long strips with a pizza cutter, for example, or you could try to make your own ravioli if you like. You could try to make your own gnocchi, and there are so many ways to kind of get around not having like the tools to make it into like these kind of like professional looking pasta shapes. And there's something kind of rustic and charming about like making your own, and it looks homemade, and I just think that would be a really fun activity to do, and I want to try to do that soon. Number 9 is one that I kind of took from a friend in school. Whenever I was a teenager, I had a friend who came up with the idea of making happiness jars for their friends, and it was basically like you take a jar and you fill it with things that the person associates with happiness, and just things that generally are like cheerful. So for example, they would put potpourri, confetti, like sweets, little notes, like anything that the person would like and that would cheer them up in the jar. And I went on and made loads for years after that for different like friends and people in my life, and I just think it's a really nice uplifting gift to make. The process of making it makes you feel like just as good, I think, as the person would feel when they get it. Like there's just something about creating happiness in a jar that makes you feel like good inside. And number 10 is to read books aloud to yourself or to someone else. I sometimes really struggle with my concentration. I think it's because of my mental health issues, and there's times where I feel like I'm not able to read. And I have really kind of fought against that and struggled with that over the years, because I want to read, but it's like during those times I can't physically make myself do it, or even focus maybe on an audiobook. But I find that sometimes if I'm alone, if I read aloud to myself, because I'm kind of actively involved in the process and I'm using my voice, it makes me pay attention to the story and I can take it in more. So I feel like that is a useful thing to do if you're struggling with concentration when it comes to reading. And there's just something nice about being read to, even if it's by yourself. I love reading to my kids, and I think it's really nice, the idea of reading to older people too, who maybe don't have the ability to read to themselves anymore because of their eyesight or whatever. And I just think that reading aloud and reading to people is quite powerful, and it's just a really nice use of time, and I can see why it makes my kids feel comforted at bedtime. So I hope that these tips give you some ideas of things to do instead of spending money. And yeah, thank you for watching, and hi to any subscribers, and yeah, feel free to subscribe if you haven't already, and have a great day. I'll see you soon. Bye.